That dream of Ruben Neves to return to the Premier League looks like it has gone ahead to obviously get watered down because the winter transfer window went ahead to obviously end on the 31st of the opening month of the year 2026. And guess what? There is a breaking story from the Al Hilal side that has gone ahead to close all doors of his possible return to the Premier League. Remember, very many clubs were interested in him, including Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Newcastle. He was linked to Barcelona. He was linked to Real Madrid and very many other clubs in there for you. But I tell you what, a lot didn't go on as planned because it really yielded a lot of longevity, and the L game from the clubs that were interested in him went ahead to play a very big part into what this lad is supposed to be, into where this guy is supposed to be playing at. Rokani David is my name. Smash like button, comment, and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And continue to subscribe because we want to hit 29,000 subscribers. And I welcome you back from the game of football that was played yesterday that saw Arsenal go ahead and really knock out Chelsea, winning the two legs on an aggregate of 4-2, a win at Emirates and a win at the Stamford Bridge, giving Arsenal where they're supposed to be. We are going to be talking about N'Golo Kante. He has been the news towards the end of the winter transfer window, but finally he has found himself in a position of really securing his well-adored move in there for you and is out of the Saudi Pro League. Now, Fabrizio Romano came up and obviously put out the following, and he said that negotiations at final stages now between Ruben Neves and Al Hilal over a long-term deal, agreement advancing over a 3-year contract despite interest from Europe. Now, he put out this post on the 29th of January. And why did he obviously put out this post, and why did these talks really commence? Because teams in Europe never took a further step to obviously kill off this deal. You understand? They never really showed huge interest in the player, and that's why the player ended up not coming in through to play for the side of either Man United, Arsenal, and so on and so forth. And by the way, when Mikel Merino went ahead to get an injury, and we got a story from David Austin that Arsenal could be really surveying the market to look out for a Mikel Merino cover, I thought that Ruben Neves was supposed to be the ideal player, as they could get him below £20 million, and Arsenal were like, we are not obviously going to be getting in any player. However much the rumors of Sandro Tonali were all over the place, it never really came to pass, and the player was really disappointed because his agents had talked with Arsenal, Man United, Newcastle, and very many other clubs, but the deal never went ahead to materialize, and it never came to pass. Something that I think went ahead to threaten the agent of Ruben Neves, and I think they came up to the conclusion that let's obviously sign a new deal. And guess what? Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead to obviously tell us today that it's official. It's official and confirmed. Ruben Neves signs a new deal at Al Hilal until June 2029. You get? That is really very shocking, and picking the project for a long term. So 2029, that means those are 3 more seasons at the club of Al Hilal in there for you. And for me, I feel bad when a player of such a talent is playing in the Saudi Pro League, because he left, I think, at the age of 25 and went to play that side, and I was like, what has really led to him going that side, you know? Because I don't think that it was the right decision for him to make. He really went ahead to make a very, very wrong decision, according to me. And he reached an extent when he wanted to return to the Premier League, and I think clubs were like, you are obviously clocking 29 years of age. Why should we obviously go in for you? But all in all, he tried his best, but he couldn't obviously get his dream move in there for you to returning to Europe. And we wait to see whether there are other clubs that will obviously come up and obviously put out a very huge show to obviously maybe show interest in him in the summer transfer window. But I doubt, because if they haven't gone ahead to show intent of signing him during this period where his contract was obviously going to be running down, then why should someone pick interest in paying more than that amount of money? Because for me, it is all about the price that would have gone ahead to attract very many others. But the price is obviously gonna be increasing if at all any club would be interested in signing the player. Maybe there is a release clause that we haven't gone ahead to know in there. And I think if his aim was to go to Europe, then he would have gone ahead to say that I'm not extending my contract. But the moment he has gone ahead to extend his contract, we might see a situation of a Matthias Cunha, where they denied him from leaving. He renewed his contract at Wolverhampton Wanderers and had a release clause of £63.8 million in there. And I think now Ruben Neves will obviously have a release clause, and I think it will come in through as anticipated. And very, very soon we'll hear the contract details and we'll know whether he's really there to stay or a club can come out and really trigger his release clause in there for you. So that is Ruben Neves for you, missing out again on his dream to come and play in Europe, but it's still a little bit trying to come to him and find a solution. With the World Cup under the way, I think they've gone ahead to weigh in and they're like, we might go to a club and not get in ample playing time, and we end up missing out on the World Cup. You understand? So that is really very, 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 very important for the player. And he's like, let me stay here. Good enough. The manager of Portugal Martinez, Robalto, has been calling me up for the national team to really do the duties. However much I've been playing at Al Hilal in the Saudi Pro League. So that is Ruben Neves for you. Now, from Ruben Neves, let's obviously go to another player who left Europe and went to play in the Saudi Pro League. That is N'Golo Kante. And finally, he's returning back to Europe. And it's a breaking N'Golo Kante to Fenerbahce. Here we go. Contract signed until June 2028 after termination of contract at Al Ittihad. Fenerbahce and Al Ittihad received the green light from FIFA after issues with documents and official statement in there for you. Kante only wanted Fenerbahce. So, N'Golo Kante is a player that I think went ahead to really revolutionize the midfield, the defensive midfield position. His work rate, defined what he could be like in a team. And from Leicester City, and when you hear about his story from that side of France, to come to the side of Leicester City, I think he used to sleep with who, but that wonder season they really had at Leicester City saw him go levels up to Chelsea, earning some good amount of money. And then later, he has found himself in a position of really saying, I go to Al Ittihad, I've made the money, now I want to go to Europe and play for Fenerbahce. And finally, the deal has come to completion and the player is obviously gonna be going where he deserves to be, and he only wanted Fenerbahce. That is N'Golo Kante. We wait to see how he obviously features for Fenerbahce in the remaining 6 months of the season and see whether he can obviously impress Didier Deschamps to be part of the French national team that will play in the World Cup in there. Remember, by the time he left Chelsea, he had turned out to be an injury-prone player. I think the workload was really huge for him and couldn't handle it. But going to the Saudi Pro League, there is no need. You don't need a lot, to do there. And you just need to obviously be fit, and obviously you don't need to really intensify as you've been intensifying in the Premier League. So I think his joints are back to where they're supposed to be, and now let's wait and see how he look up when he's playing for Fenerbahce. Rokani David is my name. Your reactions to Ruben Neves' return to the Premier League dream over? That is it. And what do you make about it? Do you think a team like Arsenal, Man United, or Chelsea would have gone ahead to go ahead and really make a move for such a player? Then afterwards, you can talk about N'Golo Kante finally returning to Europe, having some good seasons there in the Saudi Pro League, and he has finally gone ahead to raise up his hand, and he's back in Europe. All stories brought to you by Fabrizio Romano and we out. Bye bye. First video of the day, and more is yet to come.